800-951-0592. Joe and Jason, Patriot Radio News Hour here on this Thursday. Whatever's left on those peace dollars. And again, I don't chastise. I think we got the best. I know we got the best customers. And our listening audience is they're fantastic. They're super intelligent. They're really smart. But, man, you missed it yesterday. You don't not buy things below cost. I mean, when I'm telling, I don't make it up. Jason gets the same sheets I do. Jason will verify. We're below cost. You got to buy them. $620. I don't even know how many's left. There was a couple of phone lines taken. Now they're all open on the gold side. And I think this is another super deal. 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles. 1 through 49, $260. It's been a while since they've been that big. I remember, what was it? 3 months ago? 90 days ago? Maybe even 60 days ago? They were like $325, and we couldn't get them. They're $260. You buy 50 or more at $250 a coin. So either way, I would get both. Get some peace dollars, get some 10th ounce gold Eagles. You're going to need that barterable material because I got more. If we get to today, more news on this digital currency. Then they are racing towards this now. The IMF, the Bank of International Settlements, the World Economic Forum, the United Nations. I mean, come on. But don't worry. Remember the meeting that they had in Texas, in Austin the other week? Oh, we haven't decided yet. We're not sure. Yeah. Okay. 800-951-0592. Whatever's left on the peace dollars at $620 a roll at 20. And then the 1/10 ounce American Gold Eagles. That's the golden dime. They're the size of a dime. And they're exactly what they are. 1/10 of an ounce. So 10 of them would make an ounce. $260, 1 through 49. They come in a tube of 50. So if you buy a tube or more, $250 at 800-951-0592. Now, it has been claimed by me that I know how to get rid of inflation. I've said it, I don't even know, maybe 100 times. There's only one way inflation's coming down. One. Sorry. I'll tell you that's my opinion, but I think that's the facts. But it's my opinion. People got to get fired. Lots of them. Recession, depression, I don't care. Call it what you want. It is going to get ugly. UGLY, ugly. That is what is coming, period. Or they're going to come out and say we're going to live with 5% inflation. I mean, that's the only two options. There is no other option. There is no soft landing in 18 months, miraculously, somehow inflation will go down. No. Well, my favorite bank to hate, J.P. Morgan, apparently they said that the U.S. economy, which grew at they said 1.3, I thought it was 1.2, whatever it was, 1.3% GDP in the first quarter, shrugging off fears of recession. And nobody actually said we're going to be in a recession in the first quarter. We all said, hey, end of the year. But anyway. But now, according to J.P. Morgan, the R word is inevitable. Well, the economy's recent resilience, and I called it, remember, what was the analogy I was using? The deadliest catch analogy, right? That calm before the next storm comes, right? We've been living in this calm, if you will, for what, Jason? 6 to 8 weeks, something like that, where, hey, the data hasn't gotten bad enough yet. It's still, everything's kind of hanging in there, and we're going to get the Fed to do a pause, and we've been living in this pause. But, Jason, now it's time to get the answer to the test, and I don't think we got the answer.
No, and I think it'd be a long grinding situation, and the thing to worry about is at some point it could speed up very quickly. Things can get worse very quickly at one moment. When that's going to be is going to be hard to tell. This is why buying gold and silver is good right now, because people are kind of lulled into a false sense of, well, things are okay, I guess. Joe, I talked briefly before we got on the air about global taxes. I figured out what that was. I was reading this Doug Casey while you were talking. Have you ever heard of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development? There's always these organizations, right? Some multi-country, 130 countries are involved right now in setting a minimum corporate global tax of 15% minimum.
Yeah, they've been working on that. Janet Yellen. Yeah. Yep. Janet Yellen trying to get that done, right? And listen.
That's 15% more on everything we buy.
The idea
much, right?
That's right. The idea, and again, this is the problem here. How about we stay out of everybody else's business? How about that?
Yeah.
Right? Who are we to tell any country what they should tax a business, right? But yet here it is, right? Because, hey, New World Order, this is what they're talking about. But back to J.P. Morgan. They're like, this recent, they called it resilience. It may have delayed the onset of the recession, and it did. I'll give you that. I thought we were going to be a lot closer to recession already. In other words, I thought already we got the pause, but we got the tough pause. And 90 days ago, I thought we were going to get the pause and no tough talk. But we got tough talk. And I actually do. They're this dumb. I think they're going to raise in June. July. This is very much like 07. Gosh, it's so much like it. Ben Bernanke, it was an August meeting then. Okay. It was an August meeting then. He raised rates to 5.25% and was talking tough. Saying, yep, I know we got these problems. There's subprime problems. A little frothy in the market. We're going to be raising rates again. And before they could raise rates again, everything went to hell in a handbasket. But I'll tell you what J.P. Morgan thinks is going to happen right after the break. Eight 800-951-0592. Joe and Jason here on this Thursday. Peace dollar rolls at 620. 10th ounce American Gold Eagles, $260. If you buy 50 or more, $250 at 800-951-0592. So now J.P. Morgan said, hey, they called it, we had a bout of resilience, kind of delayed the recession. But they said that it is their belief that the lagged effects of the Fed's monetary tightening have yet to be felt. And I'll say this. We're decreasing the money supply. What's the first time really, I'll say, ever in the modern Fed era, right? So since the 70s, right? They've never done this. And like Jason said, we all know a good Ponzi scheme needs more money, not less. Now, of course, they're pumping more money in other places, but, we know what's happening. They said that ultimately a recession will likely be necessary to return inflation to target. Right? Remember, they're 2%. Which, by the way, let's not forget, they just made that number up. Right? You guys do know that. There's no economic reason to have inflation and to have a target for inflation. There isn't. Why isn't the target 0? Why hasn't anybody asked that question, Jay? Shouldn't the target be 0? Right?
Well,
Shouldn't that be the target?
Yeah. We didn't have that for a very long time, right, in our history. So why should there should be any level that's acceptable, right?
I'm going to just tell you, they also had more to say. Although the stock market has made a strong comeback recently, that's never good. We maintain a defensive asset allocation and believe the risk-reward for equities remains poor. This is why I keep telling people. I'm amazed. Everybody who hasn't called my son, you're just wanting to throw your money away. He's been coming out. He's been nailing it. Really lately, he's been really going, oh no, we're still way defensive, right? Rates are going higher, right? You got to have these things allocated properly. But again, remember how I started the show. What's changed? Tell me what's changed. I guess we had a bout of resilience. That's the change. That's made gold go down $150? Yeah, I don't think so. This is opportunity at its finest, right? This is Wall Street wishful thinking. Man, we had 6 whole weeks. Maybe they had 10. And today, the Bank of England, well, they ruined the party. And then jobless claims. I guess they just they want to pretend it's not happening, Jason. Here's my problem. What happens if jobless is next week, maybe the week after, maybe a month from now, hits 300,000? 300,000 plus. Remember, let's not forget, Jay Powell, now again, he in his defense, he only wants a couple million of you to get fired. Right, Jason?
It's their stated goal. Right, because inflation is their biggest opponent for keeping the reins of power in their hands. So yeah, they can't have the appearance that inflation is out of their control, but they really want the inflation, I think, Joe, don't they? So they kind of that's why they're dancing around with the raise it or pause it sort of thing. But they don't really conquer this inflation. It's just sort of grinding on, isn't it? 2% is not enough, is it, Joe? And how long is it going to be not acceptable to have 2%? It's probably going to be 4 or 5% in the end, I guess, right?
That's the thing. You know what? You want my honest opinion? I think we get recession. And then I think the Fed's going to come out at that point. Remember now, Jay Powell, and he said it yesterday, and I'm sure he's saying it today. We are committed to getting to our 2% target in the future. Right? What does that mean? Right? How long is the future? But here's what I truly believe. We're never getting there. I think recession is coming. I still think it's coming in the next 6 months. I really do. And then I think what the Fed's going to do what they always do. Whoops, and start printing again, and inflation will still be high. And I think they're going to have to change, and they're going to have to set a new target. I said when they came out with this was Ben Bernanke and Janet Yellen. Remember, they're the ones that created this inflation target nonsense. And I told everyone back then, 2%'s the introductory number. Eventually, they're going to say, well, you know what, we're going to have 4%. Right, so think about this. At 2%, every 20 years, right, your money would buy 40% less. That's a lot. Well, at 4%, every 20 years, it would buy 80% less. And Jason, I think that's where we're headed. I think the Fed, we're going to get a recession. And I think the Fed's going to do what they always do, print more money because they don't know what else to do. And then they're going to have to admit that we need a higher inflation target.
You know, one thing that was said by a lot of big businessmen and bankers after the '08 crash of the housing market is they didn't take full advantage of that crash, Joe. So here's a very similar looking one coming, and I think there's a lot more prepared entities to jump all over the destruction that's coming, Joe.
Probably right. We're going to wrap up this Thursday right after the break. Eight 800-951-0592. It's a tough crowd. You guys are a tough crowd, man. I just chastised you, called you, well, I didn't say bad words, but think you're making a huge mistake on these peace dollars. I just checked during the break. We still got 10 rolls of peace dollars. Are you kidding me? Really? Wow. All right. I don't know. What do I say to that, Jason? I don't even know how to go on right now.
Well, you know, people figure it out. It's just sometimes they figure it out late. You know, I can't tell you how many customers in the years I've been doing this with you that came in and they're buying something. And one of the things they always say is, I should have bought the other special, but I ended up having to buy this one. so I'll buy you guys can go wait for the next one, buy the next one. But
all right,
cheap silver is cheap silver, Joe. Any way you look at it.
Listen, I'm selling those peace dollars below cost at $620. I've got 10th ounce gold eagles on sale, 1 through 49 at $260, 50 or more at $250. That is not below cost. That is not below cost. 800-951-0592. And Jason, it's getting creepier and creepier about this digital stuff. In a presentation conference in Morocco, the head of the IMF, the managing director of the IMF, announced that the global body is working hard on a global central bank digital currency platform. But I thought we hadn't decided. I thought we were still thinking about it. Right? You guys need to wake up. Why are they doing this? Why are they racing? Why are they, quote unquote, working hard? Because, Jason, whatever time is left, and that's the thing, we don't know. Right? Does it fall apart next year? Is it 2025? Right? But I do know this. It's soon. They think they need this thing soon. And by soon, I would say, the next 3 years? I think that would be optimistic, really optimistic, say 3 to 5 years. I don't think it's that long. But this thing is coming, and it's coming like a freight train, and the only way they get it, Jason, is by paying, right? By the next emergency.
Yeah, there's a few hurdles, I think, you know, and they're trying this stuff out in other countries right now. The testing goes on in a small way somewhere where you never hear about it. So they're going to figure out what works and how to implement it best, you know, and then it'll happen. And once it happens, they'll have a narrative that most people will just swallow whole, which is, hey, this will save us. This will help us. This will be convenient, but it also will keep you safe. And that emergency, Joe, I'm pretty convinced it'll be next year. They've been really good at doing these emergencies as a president's leaving and a new president's coming on. And so I don't know if Biden will get reelected or not, but if he doesn't get reelected, then next year is a prime spot for them to create the emergency.
In other words, what I hear Jason say it is, you don't want to be the next president. That's what I hear. That's what I hear you saying, right?
Well, look at Obama though. 9/11 happened, and then later on, in 2008, the housing crash happens at the end of Bush's term, and he starts printing money. Then Obama comes in, he starts printing money. But he was the hero, right? He transitioned, and he saved everything. When
I'm going to leave you with Robert Kiyosaki. By tracking every financial transaction, they will have access to every detail of our spending. the receipts of all of our money and how resources are allocated. Isn't that wonderful? 800-951-0592. Jason and I coming right back with the Half Empty Cup.